Today's episode is brought to you by Don't Be a Gunsel, more affectionately known as the D-Bags. Mr. Josh Williams has partnered with us on this and has become our main sponsor of the show. And a little bit about Don't Be a Gunsel. This is just right from their description on their page. We are farm, ranch, and rodeo folks who are tired of posers, fakes, and wannabes. So we carved out our own brand with a simple message: don't be a gunsel. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram, Don't Be a Gunsel, and don'tbeagunsel.com. They've got some hats and some stickers, and then they always share some of the best memes I've seen. So go check them out. Buy some of their merch. If you do, use the promo code BURNINDAYLIGHT and get yourself 10% off. That's BURNINDAYLIGHT. Get yourself 10% off. Get yourself some cool shit. Help a brother out. And so thanks to Don't Be a Gunsel. Go check them out.
Howdy there. I'm Matt McKinley, and we're burning daylight. Lord darling, pretty as the morning. She's not real happy about life right now. Are ya? Good morning, daylight burners. How the hell are we feeling today? I'm kind of on one today. I'm going to let you know right now. I'm feeling good. Ideas are coming to me fast. So, strap in. It's going to be a good one. Had Muller testify before the House yesterday. We'll get into that. I've already been talking politics with my buddy Aaron this morning, and like I said, I'm on one, and I think you're gonna get a kick out of it. So, yesterday was a huge traffic day for us on Facebook and Instagram and the podcast in itself. So, I don't know what it was, but thank you. I appreciate it. And keep it up. Let's keep doing the same thing every day. Let's not make it a special day. Let's just do it every day. And, yeah. I was pretty excited about that. So, thank you all for that. And let's have a good one. And we'll have a little bit of fun. I'm riding Lori Darling today, and she's on one today too. I think she didn't try to fight me or anything yet, but she's kind of got a ball in her back, and let's see how it goes. I didn't even mess with the hackamore today. I went right for the bit, and I think that's gonna be my best bet on it. So anyhow, we're gonna ship some cattle, and I'll get back at you. It is just an absolutely beautiful morning right now. It is nice and cool. We got a little bit of rain last night, and not enough to settle the dust. It's still pretty damn dry, but it's I think it's probably gonna get hot today, but it doesn't feel humid. It just feels nice and cool, and I'm gonna enjoy it while it lasts. So I was thinking, the coolest thing about this whole podcast is I've made some, I would say, friends through this deal. There's Brett Stanley. He's from Saskatchewan, long gone Saskatchewan, and he had messaged me. I don't even remember what he had messaged me for initially, but then he requested a song, and but we ended up talking back and forth, fairly regularly, and Kane Boswell's the same way. Kanye, as I like to, as I always read it in my head, Kanye Boswell. But he's always messaging me, and well, not always, but like I said, fairly regularly, and that's just it was kind of cool. I would have never known him before, maybe never would have met him, but now yeah, I'd say we're pretty friendly, and we chat quite a bit. So it's that's kind of cool. And I gotta tell you that this Bennett Kirk that I talked to yesterday, I was more than impressed with that little fella. He is quite the little entrepreneur, and very very mature acting for his age. And I really enjoyed listening to him and his ideas and what he wants to do in life, and it was just pretty refreshing seeing that from such a young guy. And yeah, so I he was looking at starting his podcast, and not only do I think it's okay, I encourage it, because especially at his age, or your age, Bennett, you could really meet some cool people early on, and you never know who's going to be listening, and it could open up a world of opportunity for you, and it has for me so far too. So I would encourage you to go ahead and start your podcast. You'll have fun with it. It'll test your patience and and your temper at times, just dealing with the technology behind it, or just coming up with something to say. You may have a whole bunch to say like I do, but there's days where it doesn't come out right, and nothing works. And those days make you wanna just throat punch somebody, and just be. I always picture just punching some random stranger in the throat as I'm walking by, just walking down the street. Whoop! Whoop! Hey! 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 Ah! Whoop! 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 And yeah, I always just picture some just random. It's usually a white dude, just kind of nerdy, not real frail, but just kind of nerdy accountant looking type, and just right in the throat as I'm walking by. And I would never do that in real life, but I think about it kind of regularly. It's kind of alarming how often I think about that, and I really don't even know who that person resembles in my head, but it's just some random person just strolling down the street, and clap right in the throat. But there's days that'll make you want to do that to anybody and everybody. But I think you could really, really meet a lot of cool people, and just do well for yourself in the long run. By starting that. So I would encourage anybody really that has an idea like mine, or maybe not even in the same sphere as what I'm in, but they have a topic that interests them and they know a lot about, and they want to talk about it with other people. That I would encourage you to do so. There is something out there for everybody. So I found that out over the years, and yeah, I would highly encourage you to do something like that. And if you need help with getting started or technical questions, I'd be more than willing to answer them. So I do encourage people to do something like that. You never know what's gonna catch on. So anyhow, it's one of the neat things about doing this whole podcast adventure. As I mentioned yesterday, Bob Muller testified before the House Intelligence Committee. I didn't have my facts 100% accurate yesterday. I knew it was the House, but I didn't know what. So, he went before the House Intelligence Committee to testify about the findings of his report into whether Russia interfered with the election and whether or not Donald Trump colluded with them in doing so. And what they found out is that Russia did conspire to undermine our democracy, as they say, and then that the Trump campaign did not collude with them in any way, but they did find that if he was not, I guess what was clarified yesterday is that if he was not the sitting president, he would have been indicted for obstruction of justice. So that part, I guess I can't even really argue with him on that. I'm not going to try to defend Donald Trump blindly. He, I guess by the literal definition of obstruction of justice, I would say yes, he's probably guilty of that. On the other hand, I believe that obstruction of justice is a bullshit charge, as I've said before. It's another example. They had nothing on him, and he spent 2 years and roughly $35 million of taxpayer money looking into this. They had to come up with something to justify their existence, which is probably 90% of what a politician does is justify their existence, or a bureaucrat is an even better conversation. Buenos dias. How are you today? Good. Nice this morning. Yes. Yeah. Pretty bueno. Yeah, a little bit. So, anyhow, yeah, about 95% of every politician's time is spent trying to justify their existence, but I would say probably 99% of most bureaucrats' existence or time is spent justifying their existence. So, they had to find something to get Trump on, and conspiracy or obstruction of justice, since they didn't have any conspiracy or collusion findings. Obstruction of justice was all they could get him on, and they couldn't even get him to get him for lying to the FBI or whatever, which is another bullshit deal.
Hey, Bobby
the
Gray.
Police
Mandalorian
of any,
chasing strays.
at any level can lie to you all they want, but you can be charged with a crime for lying to the FBI, and that's lying to the FBI and tax evasion is all that they have got pretty well anybody behind the Trump campaign for, is lying to the FBI and tax evasion. So I don't know, if you just look at it objectively, they have not had anything since the beginning, and it really has been a witch hunt. Well, like I was saying just a minute ago, we had a bunch of traffic on our Facebook page in particular, but also the Instagram feed, and then the show did particularly well. It was my total play count went up pretty significantly. I think it was like 200 and some, or right at 200, something like that. We usually run about 145 a day on total downloads. So so it had a little spike there, and I don't know what the cause of it was, but I like it. So I do encourage you to go check out that Open Range app. I'm speaking of which, I forgot to post to it this morning. I'm going to do that right now. But I encourage you to go check it out. It's pretty neat deal. At least the idea of it is. It's a little rough in the design and execution of it at the moment, but like you said, in the interview, they've only been doing it for a little while. So there's, just like this show, I don't know if you remember, the first couple episodes were pretty shitty, and even here till just recently, you know, the audio was inconsistent at best. So I think we kind of got it dialed in. Maybe. I'm not gonna say anything confirming it just yet, but I think we may finally kind of have it dialed in. So that makes me feel better, and I think we're finally ready to start doing a bunch of these interviews. So I'm gonna get on the ball with that one. All right, folks, just to follow up what I was talking about yesterday with tagging yourself in your pictures. What I mean, and I need to clarify, I guess. What I mean is, before you send the picture, like click on edit or whatever, on my Samsung, it's you click on the little pencil icon, and then there's a place where you can insert a text box and just put your, either your name or your Instagram handle or whatever, your company name, however you want that picture to be represented. Just type it in there, and then then you can make it smaller or bigger, however you want to do it. But just like I've done on the video podcast, do that. That way I don't have to do it, and then I can just upload them right to that slideshow portion, and then you get your credit, and I get some content, for some extra content to make the YouTube experience a little better. So yeah, if you can do that, and also if for those of you who I'm not quite as sure as how the podcast scene works, the easiest way to get everything would just be to subscribe on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever the case may be, if you have an iPhone, or Spotify would probably be the other easiest one if you're not an Apple user. So just on Spotify they call it follow, so just follow me, and then on iTunes or Apple, click on the subscribe. And if you do listen on Apple, make sure you leave me a review, and hopefully we can get on like the new and noteworthy page and get a few more listeners that way. And yeah, so once again, I appreciate all the pictures and stuff you guys have been sending my way. I'm gonna use them, and when I get around to it, I will be putting them up on my website as well. And it's just burnin-daylight.com, and I've got just a handful of pictures up there. There's not much up there right now, but go check it out. Tell me what you think, and I'll be posting a few articles / blog posts or whatever you want to call them. Just couple little quick read blurb deals about whatever's on my mind, I guess. And yeah, and I'll have the photo gallery and maybe some links to some other stuff. But anyhow, go check that out. And yeah, and if you would, and if you don't tag them, I'll still use them. But I'm not going to go through and insert the little text on my own anymore. It's time consuming, and so if you send them to me, I will use them. But if you want to get proper credit for it, make sure you tag yourself on the picture itself, not in the post, but on the picture itself. That way I know it's yours, and everybody else knows that's your picture as well. So and I'll post a picture out on all my social media stuff, an example of one of my pictures that I tagged. So anyway, thanks again for everything. I I really have been enjoying this whole deal. So, yeah, I look forward to seeing some more stuff. Like I said, it doesn't have to be cattle and horse related, but you know, if it's good scenery, even send it to me. Some, you know, if you're a craftsman working with leather or bit and spurs, that type of deal, send me some pictures of your product. I'll put it out there. It'll be a little bit of free publicity for you. Anyway, I appreciate it. Oh, Lori is pretty sure this metal water tank is gonna eat her. She is. I don't know if you can hear, but she's getting all sorts of snorty, and she's not wanting to. Oh, these heifers, when you ride up on them, when they're around the water tank like that, even if you ride up slow and you try to get your horse's head between the tank and their shoulder, so you can turn them away from the tank. They still sometimes decide they're just going to bail over the top of it, which usually means they're bailing right in the middle of it. And these metal tanks, they're loud, echoey, make a ton of noise, and it'll spook your horses. And so now she's just pretty convinced that tank is just best buddies, if not brothers to Freddy Krueger or whatever super villain you can think of. That Hannibal Lecter. That's probably a better example. She thinks that tank is just very connected to Hannibal Lecter and might just feed a piece of her brain to her. But anyway, goofy old bitch. But back to this Muller deal. I was just getting ready to load trucks when I was wrapping up that first segment, so I wanted to come back to it because the Democrats have been pushing to get Mueller to testify, and if he finally agreed with it or complied with this, I don't remember if they subpoenaed him or not, but anyway, they, like I said,
well, folks,
yesterday that
I recorded a whole episode.
Even though they've already
and
spent 2 years
another
and
one with Bobby
$35 million or more,
and I realized I didn't do
and came up with really nothing.
So here we are.
Like I said, yes, I guess technically he's
listening
probably
and,
guilty of
supporting
obstruction of justice.
all your feedback and everything.
You consider
and,
obstruction of justice to be
yeah,
a
you make
crime,
it worth doing. So
which
keep it up.
technically it
Go
is.
Go ahead and find me.
But I don't know. I don't look at stuff as
podcast
legal
machines,
versus illegal
Apple,
anymore.
Spotify,
It's more
Google,
right and wrong.
All those make sure
that I
subscribe.
kind of judge everything. That doesn't mean I don't
review
follow
on iTunes.
Follow the legality of
on
stuff
YouTube.
because
the video
I really
podcasts,
rather
they don't
not
have
spend
the
any
songs
time
on there. I'm going to start doing
in a
that
metal
again.
cage,
I missed
concrete
the
cage,
music aspect of it, so I'm going to start doing that again. But I can't put them on YouTube.
That being said,
so
I
video
have a hard
will
time
not have any music
with obstruction of justice, which basically
you find me on YouTube.
More than anything, he was trying to cover up how inept the campaign was at just politics in general. They won. Don't get me wrong. They won.
The episodes as they come out.
But it wasn't pretty, and it was real close.
Twitter,
and
Instagram,
you're talking popular vote.
85.
They actually lost that.
Follow all the show pages.
But they won where it
Daylight
mattered.
On Facebook,
and
at Burning Daylight on Instagram. At Burning
Donald
Daylight
Trump
2
is
on
the
Twitter,
Tim Tebow of politics.
Burning Daylight on YouTube.
It doesn't
Burning Daylight
doesn't work out very well, but it somehow
you can go check out my
he
website,
stays in the game and pull off a win somehow.
And I'm gonna write a
it's
blog
not
post
pretty.
And
You don't understand how it happened, but it happened somehow.
Make sure you put a tag on the picture.
And this was just, they just served up
to me if you want to get full
a
credit
second
for it,
term for him right here.
If
they weren't doing themselves any favors with campaigning.
I really appreciate it.
So far, they're only.
So let's keep it up. Had a big
the Democratic Party has gone far left wing, and I think the country as a whole has shifted left wing considerably.
And
but
on that note, I'm gonna go work on
the whole
of this episode out to you,
of the Democratic constituents has not
hopefully at a decent
like
hour. So
just
move your ass.
sold out left, 90-degree left like the Democratic Party has, and whether I don't know what their long-term plan is, if that's part of what they're doing, but I don't see it working, man. And